All right, this crypto signal has a 90% win rate. This is NC Hammer Crypto. My name's Neil, where we keep technical analysis short and sweet. Let's go. So we're looking at Bitcoin. The crypto signal that I always use is Fibonacci retracement, as you guys have seen in my videos, and trend lines. However, I do want to bring in a new form of indicator that you guys might enjoy, or you might be able to see a better potential with this indicator. So let's go on a clear chart here, go to Bitstamp, see what's going on. So right now we have CM Super Guppy, which I really enjoy. It's more of the liquid form of seeing how the market's working. Another indicator I like to use is Ichimoku Cloud. If you guys haven't used Ichimoku, it's pretty beneficial. It's not the most accurate, so definitely pair it with other indicators. Just don't say, oh, Ichimoku is in the green, it's above the cloud, and so it's a buy. Don't just deal with that. Try and piece together more information with it. But as you can see down here on the daily, the cloud got really thin right around this area. And when that happened, it was trying to break above, and then when it happened, it was actually showing that it was red. So people might be thinking, oh, it's going to be a sell, but it broke above that and then made the cloud really thin right here and had a continuation. And then it's like, when you're right in this area, it says, oh, okay, the green cloud right here saying we're going to see more further upward movement. We saw that happen. However, you don't see in the cloud this drastic retracement right here. So you can't just say the cloud says it's up, so it's going to continue up. But eventually it did hold above the entire cloud right here and started moving more upwards. Looking right here, we are holding above the cloud, which is nice to see. So you could see a potential movement upwards. However, I prefer to pair the CM Guppy to get a little bit better visualization. And when you look at this, you can see the water is really heavy. Imagine here's a rock, which is the push up, but then it starts to flow back down, and we want to see another rock forming to give a little bit more of a push upwards. And ultimately, you could also be pairing this with a form of a inverse head and shoulders, which I like to see on a lot of coins. So it is forming an inverse head and shoulders. It's holding above the 200 EMA for XRP. Definitely a good buy. Some news is happening in June, which we are in June now. Here it's June 2nd. But with that being said, I believe we're going to start seeing some movement upward depending on what Bitcoin does. Just the other day I was saying it was going to go down, which it did, but we saw some support in this black trend line right here. Comparing it to previous movements, you can see that it may have a little bit of consolidation. We may see a little bit more of a drop down to this 9900 area and test this 200 EMA before we start getting that leg up and the altcoin season starts picking up here in June and July. But I believe XRP is pushing to November still before we start seeing some major movement. BNT is holding pretty strong. It was testing this downward trend line as we see. It got rejected. We are still holding above the 200 EMA. We might see a touch back up to this line, and if that breaks, we can start seeing that push further upwards. LCX is trying to fill out a cup and handle. We are trying to get a little bit of support and pushing upwards towards this 200 EMA. I personally want to see it hold above 17 cents and even break this trend line right here, this black one, before potentially entering. They say it can hit $50, so there is high potential with LCX. XYO is getting punished right now, but it is still a higher low than its previous low back here in April. And so I believe we could hold if Bitcoin holds. If Bitcoin drops, we're going to see this drop, but I don't believe we are going to break this low right here. XYO has some major potential as well. QNT is one I've been looking at a lot. It broke that downward trend line right here. Right now we are trying to hold support over that trend line. It is at the 0.618 on the Fibonacci retracement. When we zoom into the 15 minute, you can get a little bit better view of what I am talking about. There's a 618. We tested right off the 618, push back up, We have 1 touch, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touches trying to break this downward trend line. It failed, but I believe that we are going to get a higher low, seeing what Bitcoin will do. And with that, I believe we could see a push upwards up to the 120 mark again, being an 11% increase just with quant. However, an all-time high over $1,000. XCN also getting punished, but still holding within this downward wedge. We want to see it hold over this black trend line here and get support over the 200 EMA and begin to start pushing upwards towards 17 cents and then back up to its high of 0.03 cents eventually in time. But mainly we want to see it break this trend line right here and hold support within this trend line. Also, the RSI is dipping as well, so keep that in mind. It is a little oversold on the daily, and we want to see that push back up towards this high right here to get it back to the 50 mark on the RSI. XPR instead of XRP, consolidation, building support over the 200 EMA. Looking pretty nice, but I would wait to see if it touches this 200 EMA or if it gets pulled back by that. XLM, and also another one I wanted to bring up is White Rock. White Rock had an amazing good days these past couple of days. XLM, I believe, has major potential, is going to be testing the support and pushing back up over that 200 EMA, filling out the cup and handle pattern. A very nice potential buy if you missed out on this bull pump right here, to get your profits in with this next bull run. White Rock is BlackRock's coin, and they just started in the game. And these past couple of days, we have seen 0006 all the way up to 003. 400% increase, currently sitting at a 229% increase from about 4 or 5 days ago. BlackRock, I imagine it also has very high volume. It's overbought as well in the RSI. I believe it's going to have a pullback like we saw right here in the 5th of March and test back into the CM Guppy right around here in the 0.0007 area. And then we'll have a takeoff as well with the rest of the market. GRT building up. It is a little scary. We do want to see it push up, but as I commented earlier, I believe this will start pushing up towards this downward trend line. And comparing this to Link, it only has to make it to around 35 cents, right around here, to make as much as Link will, returning to its all-time high. However, if this coin does return to its all-time high, a rough estimate of 4,000%, which is a possibility. We can see that happen with GRT. Torn, I keep recommending. You can buy it on MEXC, lowest trading fee platform if you want to use it. Definitely see if it's usable in your area. Reference link below. But Tornado Cash at $9.50 still. We bought in around $7.50, but an all-time high of over $400. This coin washes Bitcoin. It does have potential. It beat some lawsuits as well recently in Texas, and I believe this is going to start pushing very fast, as you can see in the past. Major potential in a very quick minute. Grab some Torn while you can. That's not financial advice. And I just want to bring up Prime like we were looking at. It is good that we have gotten out of Prime when we're looking at the 15-minute. It is pretty much getting killed since we exited right at this trend line. When it broke this trend line, we were out, and it's just been bleeding out ever since. So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoy. Reference links in the link below, like and subscribe, all that stuff. But I will see you guys on the next one. Don't get scared. Hold your bags, and this altcoin season is going to be very, very intense. See you guys on the next one.